Hi students, and welcome to the preliminary chemistry course and the first in the series of videos from the Chemical Earth, which is our first topic in preliminary chemistry. This is the first of the videos, and this one is on particle theory, specifically referencing elements, compounds and mixtures. So let's get into it. The first thing we need to do is we need to look at the particle theory. Now, the particle theory is, I guess, the same. It's an interchangeable term with the kinetic theory of matter. And if you think kinetic theory, you think kinetic energy, which is the energy of motion. And particle theory describes all forms of matter as composed of tiny particles in a constant state of motion. So link that kinetic with motion and you're pretty much there. Now, the degree to which the particles are moving depends on both the amount of energy that's present and also the nature of the relationship between the various particles. And in this first topic, we're going to be looking very much at how particles interact, the different types of matter that there are, and how we can separate different types of substances, one from another. So the first thing we need to do is to classify matter. So all matter falls into one of two different categories, either homogeneous or heterogeneous. Now, these two types of matter, in this case, homo meaning same and hetero meaning different. And if you remember those two sort of, I guess, prefixes, then you'll get a sense of what's actually going on here. Now, there's some confusion with these terms because homogeneous means the same. The particles are the same throughout. So the particles in an element and the particles in a compound are the same throughout those two different types of matter. Both of these are pure substances, and they are made up of pretty much only one type of particle. Mixtures, on the other hand, are different. They are impure substances. Not only are they impure, but they're made up of basically just more than one type of particle. So we have a mixture of different types of particles together, and that's what differentiates our mixture. Now, just I guess before I leave this slide, just to mention, we do sometimes refer to mixtures as homogeneous mixtures. So for example, your milk might be homogenized, which basically means that they've mixed the milk component and the cream component together so that it all looks like one consistent substance. But it is in fact a mixture, and it does contain a range of different types of matter within it. So let's look at these three types very quickly then, and I'm sure this is going to hopefully just be a little bit of revision for most of you. Firstly, the key points about elements is that they are pure substances. They're composed of only one type of atom. Now, that atom may be a single or monatomic particle, and that could be something like helium. Helium exists as a monatomic molecule. This is a diatomic. This representation here is a diatomic molecule, and that would be something like O2, for example. We can have triatomic ones. O3 is ozone, and so on. Compounds, on the other hand, are also pure substances, but they contain more than one type of atom. Nevertheless, they are still a single type of particle. In this case, each of these particles is a molecule, and these molecules are quite discrete. Now, we get some slight changes to this when we're looking at ionic compounds because they simplify into simple ratios, but we will look at that later on. So each of these is a different type of molecule, and you can see that each of the particles is identical. So whilst we have more than one type of atom, so this would be two types of atoms and that are the same, and this is a different type of atom. Nevertheless, as a molecule, all these molecules all look the same. They're only the one type. And so therefore, we have a compound. Water, carbon dioxide, these are different types of compounds. Finally, mixtures. Now, mixtures are impure substances. So these are heterogeneous. They're different types of things combined together. The ratios are very important here. In compounds, we have fixed ratios. In mixtures, we have varying proportions. A little bit of salt in water, a lot of salt in water, a little bit of coffee, in your hot water, maybe you like a little sugar. Each of these are mixtures because the ratios are not fixed. And notice from our little diagram, we have different types of particles. And this is what distinguishes our mixture. What we're going to do with this information, we'll have a look at in a future video. Thanks for watching.